So best friends got each other's back. We used to cruise around with a bass to the max. Everyone at school while I was in the lab, cooking up some beats that would turn into tracks. High school chillin', I was on a mission. I had bigger dreams of being a musician. Teachers always talked but I couldn't seem to listen. I lived in a fantasy land, they called it fiction. But I was gonna be big one day, playing shows on the road to a sold out stage. Nobody really cared or believed I would make it anywhere close, I would fail and fade. But that's cool, I love that, cause any little doubt gives me energy back. And now, I'm in a place where I'm glad I never gave up on the dreams I had. And big dreams lead to big things, and big swings lead to big rings. Championships or the big screen, anyone who did anything took a big swing. And big dreams lead to big things, and big swings lead to big rings. Championships or the big screen, anyone who did anything took a big swing. Yeah, let's go. So if you want something big, you gotta swing fast, swing hard and commit. You might miss 10 times, but when you hit, just make sure that you get all of it, okay? People at the top took risks. Investing and testing is all that they did. It's not complicated, it just takes grit. So never give up, take a swing at it. And big dreams lead to big things, and big swings lead to big rings. Championships or the big screen, anyone who did anything took a big swing. And big dreams lead to big things, and big swings lead to big rings. Championships or the big screen, anyone who did anything took a big swing.
I'm still not used to that to that intro, Blaze. I'm still not used to it, how long that is. But what is up, everybody? What is up? Welcome to the Pick and Roll Podcast, episode number 64. I'm here with my guys, Coach Ed Gladney, Blaze Radio, Nexter Randy, and Nikki Steves is back. Nikki Steves is back on the podcast. So how you doing, Nikki? How you been? What you been up to?
Over these past couple months, I've been mainly focused on work and my other things in my life. But as I started noticing recently, I was getting bored with my time away from work. So I'm like, I gotta find something to dive back into. I'm not the type of person to go out every day I'm off. So I need to find something to do to occupy that time. So I figured, okay, how can I come back to YouTube, make it fun this time around?
There you go. We love to hear that. We love to hear that. How are the rest of my guys doing? Okay. Sounds good. So let's just get right into it. And Randy, you and I were actually talking about this a while back. The NBA shuts down the G League Ignite. Just caught us completely by the blue, just out of the blue. Randy, how do you feel about this, man?
Like the more when you start to look back and you start to like dive into it, like I'm kind of conflicted. I'm 50-50, like obviously you got the NCAA, so you got the colleges. But for people that wanted the other route or wanted to go this route, they had this opportunity to join the G League. And we've seen in the past 2 years, G League guys actually be the first or even the second overall pick versus some colleges. So I don't know if that maybe had anything to do with it. Maybe like the NCAA felt a certain way that they were felt like they were competing against somebody and that, the third. But I need more information to come out, and I need to be able to read a bit more as to why, if it's financial or this, that, the third. But it definitely caught me off.
correct me if I'm wrong, but it's just the Ignite, not the whole G League, right?
Just the Ignite team.
It's just the Ignite team that's going away, not the whole G League. Yeah.
No, not the whole G League, just Ignite.
And that's just, one piece to the puzzle. And before I forget, 5 more shows. 5 more shows.
I
5
was
more.
waiting for Rio, then it was like, I won't show up today. Of course, when we're talking about Victor Wembanyama, he doesn't show up.
Like, I didn't read the entire article about the Ignite. I know that's one piece to the G League puzzle, but if that's just one, that's just like a team being defunct. So the G League's still there. That route will still be there for the players. That was one funnel that attracted a lot of people. The Ignite team, if you look at the past, there was a lot of people that funneled through there that either had the promise and didn't work out, or just made it into the NBA for a little bit. No, like big time superstars, but they were funneling really good talent through the Ignite team. But I think the G League's still gonna be fine.
Yeah.
I want to clarify too that also that for me the weirdness from this is like the fact that like the G League was centered around the Ignite team. Like they were the team, and like if they're not being able to make it, that makes me question whether or not other teams are going to be able to stay afloat as well. So is this a domino effect? That's what I would like to know. Like, what was the reasoning into why they had to go? Like that's what I want to know.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. I didn't read the whole article. I just saw G League Ignite is done. I didn't read the reasons why. Like maybe they were the most expensive team, and to cut costs, you'd get rid of the most expensive team. But like Randy said, they were an integral part of the G League, and it did attract people that didn't make it through college or didn't go to college or whatever. They got a shot at with the Ignite. Yeah. They were giving opportunities to people that normally probably wouldn't get another opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Coach, how do you feel about this? You and I were talking about this.
My understanding also is NIL. NIL is coming into play because a lot of college kids are probably going to make more money than they are with the G League Ignite coming out of high school. So when you can have high school kids, go into college and they're making $5 million, $1 million, $5 million, in comparison to the G League Ignite. And, it's, yes, the NBA will find talent. So it doesn't matter whether it's international, whether it's in the States, whatever, whether it's top level, they'll find the talent. So, and, these kids now, they go into college and, the college life. Blaze knows what I'm talking like. When you're 18 years old and you get away from home for the first time, you're getting stuff presented to you, top end foods, everything. And one other factor is, I'm going to be honest, the party life as a college student, So my understanding is, the college life and NIL also is playing a factor because NIL is impacting a lot of things in sports nowadays when it comes to college, because these kids know, number one, they control the narrative. They control it. They have the power and they can make money now. So, because you think about it now, these kids are making money off of the video games, EA Sports, every last one of them get a percentage of that. And it doesn't matter if you're a top level or the last player on the roster, every last one of them gets, so the money is there for them. So in comparison to the G League Ignite, I wonder, what the top level gets paid there in comparison to, you're gonna have Nike who's going to sponsor you, or whoever, the local car dealership, or Pepsi, as a 18-year-old, 19-year-old kid coming into college, you're making money there. So I think that can also be a factor into what everyone else is talking about.
I got to piggyback off of that because I really did not really consider that part of it, but I did hear something earlier tonight about how the NIL is affecting not only basketball, but NFL and other places where we'll probably see different sanctions and, things changed, legislation changed with the NIL. There's already so much talk about it, but when you go all the way back to what Coach said about the college atmosphere. Number one, we're not talking about just the basic players who barely made the team. We're talking about the upper echelon, the elite. They get like when I tried out for the basketball team, I was best friends with the star player. So we were at every party. We didn't pay for any of the booze. We didn't, there was always girls in a back room waiting for us. You know, it's like it was always like that. And that's at a low D2 level of college basketball. So just imagine, you know, the higher echelon when the money started rolling in. The example I think this morning was Shedeur Sanders, where Dion's actually come out and said he's going to pull an Eli if the number one team is not who we want. And that's because he's going to take basically a pay cut in salary going into his rookie year and his rookie contract. Now, sure, if he hangs tight, all those extra deals will still be there. The money will be there. So like a lot of things, I'm sure this Ignite thing, just to bring it back in, is a lot about money. And like Coach tied it in very well.
Yeah. All right. Nikki.
My initial thoughts, obviously this is just hearing about it, still waiting for more facts, but I feel like the NCAA does play a role in it because they have used their leverage before with the NBA. Remember, they weren't happy that they were losing on the top scouts, and they basically forced some of these guys to be at least 19. So they have pulled these tricks before. So it wouldn't surprise me if that's the case again, because I mean, I don't know if we'll be caught. It's possibly where it's looking at so far, but I'm still going to look into it more and see what they have to say.
Yep. What is up, Arku? What is up, my guy? And
the NCAA wants those top kids as bad as possible so they can make some money off it in March Madness.
And actually, one of the biggest NIL guys is in Duke, and that's Jaron McCain. Jaron McCain's a guy. He's going to be in the lottery. So when you look at that and you look at him with the NIL at Duke right now, of course they're going to pull the plug on Ignite. Since a lot more. And there was these other girls named the Cavender twins. They are in NIL. They did play for Miami.
They have a WWE contract too. They have an NXT contract with WWE as well.
Yep.
But they fell off this year. The Cavender twins, you didn't hear much about Miami. They weren't a good team this year, but you know, they're still two beautiful chicks that are athletes that'll probably make it somewhere. From what I understand, as far as the wrestling point, they did show up. They were at some training, and I didn't hear anything after that, like if they were going to come back or whether that was their child and they didn't cut it or what. So who knows?
Well, one of them is going to VCU, so she's going to play there again next year. So I don't know about WWE for them.
Yeah, later that'll always be there. They're so young too. That could always be there later on if they don't make it into WNBA or anything like that. But you know, just for the record, I am a big advocate of college athletes getting paid. It just needs to be regulated a lot better because once again, small example of what I experienced. I mean, Joe Schmo, who works at the cafeteria, got minimum wage. The guy who works taking tickets at the auditorium got paid minimum wage. The girls working at the library, they got paid. And then there's this guy bringing in thousands of people to watch basketball games or football games, and they're not making shit. And they work. I mean, that's another thing I got a taste of is their schedule. With school, put in 5 training sessions, group sessions for plays and stuff, and practices and games. I mean, it is a full schedule. It is a full-time job for those guys. But yes, like I said, they get treated like kings and queens. I'm not making excuses for them. Let's be real. They get all the food, money, pussy, anything they want. It's theirs. It weighted hand and foot. Like I said, we're talking about the elite of the elite.
And ironically, they, minus the money part, get treated better than the library staff and the cafeteria staff.
Oh, yeah, they're kings and queens. But that's what I mean. They need – it's not minimum wage. And the big argument is always, how do you pay the top 10 player in the country the same as you play the third stringer who never plays? You can't. So that's where it all needs to get worked out. That's not my job. That's their job to figure it out. Yeah, you get that pussy, and you get that dick up, you get the dick up there in Toronto.
The Badusi.
Hey, I don't know if you had this on your docket, Mitch. I did look at it. I don't think, but do you have the Ice Cube Big Three, Caitlin Clark?
We were just talking about that. We were just talking about that. We're going to add that at the end.
Okay.
So
I heard it this morning. I got a little take on it. So
yeah,
see everybody in the chat. Yeah, go ahead. Carry on. That's
and
my man.
Shout out to our
Big
wrestling
Perk
guy, Mr. Earl Cole. How's it going, Earl? Hashtag I'm free. Shout out to Earl Cole.
Earl got his pimpology game on. Yup, he getting that hustle on. You know, I'm free. Yup, I feel you, Earl.
I'm not free. I'm expensive.
I'm free.
No, you're expensive, Mitch, and I ain't gonna tell you why.
All right. For the next thing, I'm actually looking forward to this one. Every playoff team's biggest flaw, but we're bringing the wheel back.
All right. I was trying to throw you a alley hoop so you could finish it off there, Mitch. Yes, I watched your video. Yes, I watched your video from earlier. Go on, carry on. Like I can't stand Big Perk, but I'm gonna use his line for now on. Carry on. Look. Carry on.
All right. Yes, Randy, the effing wheel.
Spin the
You know
wheel,
what,
make the
Nikki?
deal.
Since you're back, you'll go first. So the first team.
I have to go like this and pretend like I'm spinning it.
Oh, come on!
All right.
Well, there you go.
So
Just
go
going
figure.
over
Every
the
time
76ers,
again.
the biggest flaw going this is lack of depth to compete against the top teams in the East. Because you've seen without Embiid how good this roster truly is. It's not a championship contender at all. So that means, yes, we have some good players on the team. We have Maxey, of course. You have Kelly Oubre's nice. I mean, Buddy Hield, he looked like he was hot early on, but recently he's kind of gotten cold.
Mhm.
So it's like that's the biggest thing. Lack of depth competing against top teams. That's the biggest thing that's going to hit them. Even if Embiid does come back, he's going to be coming back a little bit rusty from that time he missed. So that's something you got to consider. That's the real main thing right there.
Good
They
point.
don't have
Good
that
point.
camaraderie as a team like the Nuggets had last year or
Mhm.
the Warriors had for years.
Now,
I know it's not
Nick-
my turn. But I think it's just Embiid. I think that is the issue. And I'm
For
not using
me-
the injury excuse like you say, Mitch. We don't want to use the injury excuse, but I think if completely healthy, I do have to use it a little bit. I'm trying to use it professionally. If completely healthy with Embiid and everybody, it is can they coexist? Would they work together? But I think extremely deep and extremely talented in all facets, but we haven't seen this team play together yet.
for me, honestly, you know what it is? It's the shooting. I feel like if they're not consistent enough with their shooting, like you go with Buddy Hield, for example, for the
Definitely
last 5
falling off,
games,
yeah.
he'll go 1 for 6,
Yeah.
0 for 5, something like that. If you get everyone more consistent, so for me, I'm gonna go with shooting consistency.
But don't you think that Embiid is that piece that puts that back? We're not just talking about any piece to the puzzle. We're talking about the MVP here.
Yeah,
I mean, if
agree
he's
with
back
that.
underneath, don't you think that frees up our? Because I agree, our shooters have fallen off. Hield isn't doing what he used to do. I mean, the shooters aren't producing how they should consistently. I'm agreeing with you and Nikki completely there. But I'm just saying, if we just put that one Embiid healthy piece back in there, then everyone's afraid of Embiid getting the ball. Maybe they'll get more open shots.
Yes, I agree,
And
but
hope
is
that
everyone
changes
going to be clicking? Is everyone going to be chemistry? Like
That's the
Kyle
big
Lowry
question.
did not play with Embiid.
And they
That's the
have to
biggest
do
question.
right away. They can't afford to wait to get the chemistry together. They have to have it
That's-
together ASAP.
There will be no ramp up time. That's right. As soon as he comes back, they have to jump right into it. We'll see if it happens.
And maybe you could throw him an alley hoop.
And the alley hoop
Putting
to
all
him.
the
Yeah, we
pressure
can-
on them to do it.
Shout out to Butterfly. Good to see you. And Sharon, Wrestling Mama, Wally, everybody in the chat. And
What is
we're
up,
gonna-
everybody?
That's why I didn't talk to you before the show. I wanted to catch you off guard during the show with that, Mitch.
That's why you were coming on. Like, wait.
No, I was also busy while I was late too. But
And
Yeah,
you have
all right,
to
who's-
factor, sometimes it's easy when you're the team that doesn't have a lot of pressure. That was
Yeah.
Miami last year. They didn't have a lot of pressure on them because the expectations weren't that high for them as the 8th seed, and they took advantage of it.
Mm-hmm.
they made a hell of a
nice
run
runs.
too.
So
I was
sometimes
impressed.
that can help.
Yep. All
the
right,
Sixers
Blaze.
case,
Let's
make it
see
my-
who
left to
you
spin.
got.
Spin. No, Randy cut in line. Randy tried to cut in line.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
All right. So Randy, the Denver Nuggets.
Hey, why'd you give it to him? It should still be mine. I split it.
Blaze, what the hell?
There we go.
Ah.
There you go, Blaze. Denver Nuggets.
How about this? How about if we just do that and get rid of Mitch completely? Now we got our own show.
There we go. There we go.
Now I'm at the top.
Are we gonna do this all day now?
No.
Okay. Blaze.
This is an easy one. That's why. I mean, what's really wrong with the Nuggets? I mean, my problem, what I want to see is those players. I mean, you're missing certain pieces like the Bruce Browns and some people who did very well in the playoffs last year. Michael
Yep.
Porter Jr. isn't performing the way he was in the playoffs last year. He is that extra caveat that if he steps back up, they're right where they left off. So, are the main pieces of the puzzle playing just as well? Sure. But as long as they got all the cylinders when playoffs hit, they have to be the target. They're the champs. But they only have, the only question I would have would be those pieces that were so valuable last postseason, will that come into play this season?
Yeah.
Because they pretty much have the same team except for a couple of those pieces. But those pieces were important last year in that title run.
All right, let's see who Randy got.
They went with their rookie, that Watson kid. They were hoping he'd take a big step, and he hasn't
And
this year.
Well, I like him too. I think he still can. He's still really young.
Yeah.
But I do like him a lot.
The Mavericks, Randy.
Shit. Where do you start and where do you begin? I mean, I would personally stagger Kyrie and Luka a little bit. That way you'd have a little bit more scoring, because honestly, like, I haven't watched much of their games. I haven't been able to see much, but like, when those two leave the floor, there's not really that much scoring. So for me, I think what their issue is going to be is, like, if someone gets into foul trouble, like a Kyrie or like a Luka, who's going to be that third guy that's going to stand up and stand up consistently. I know they went and got PJ Washington, and he's kind of been like up and down for them. And then their rookie Blake Lively. Lively's been he's been in and out of the lineup too. So I guess for them it's health and secondary scoring.
All right. That sounds good. And coach, watch that coach gets the Knicks.
I was going to say, I almost hope that the Dallas could play like two different shifts. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Oh, it's just going to switch to the Magic right at the end. Yep. You just missed your Knicks.
Wow.
Fix the Magic. How you going to fix the Magic?
Consistent offensive scoring outside of Powell. I mean, yeah, you have the Wagners on occasion. You need a little bit more consistency from the backcourt. I mean, they do have a plethora of guys in the backcourt, but I would think that it would be the scoring. I mean, defensively, they definitely can hold their own. So, on the offensive end, I think they need to be a little bit more consistent there. Really don't know their depth too much, but I'm going to say behind Powell, who's going to really be a consistent number 2 scorer for them?
If you would have asked me at the beginning of the year, if you'd have told me at the beginning of the year that right now Orlando would have the 5th spot in the East, I'd probably tell you you're crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So they have been a hell of a surprise. There's a couple of those in the West too, but it's a lot higher than I thought they would be at this point. And that, with teams like, well, the Knicks didn't slip that much, but the Sixers slipping, and they took advantage. Orlando is up in there now. They're where I wish the Sixers were. It's only 3-game difference, to be honest.
Imagine Orlando in the playoffs, so that'd be sick. City would be fire. Cleveland.
You're muted, man.
You're on mute.
You're still muted.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. Someone must have muted me.
All right.
Wasn't me.
It was Blaze.
It was Randy. Randy did it.
Yeah, it was Canadian.
It was
That's
Blaze.
why
Anyways, the Cavaliers.
it was me that time.
Playing Canada.
All right.
Cavaliers. It's
Yep. So the Cavs.
Will you stop?
I didn't do anything.
All right, Cavs.
Okay, it's probably my
Biggest thing
microphone.
with them
All right,
is
hold on a sec. I'm gonna stop saying that. It's the
so
microphone.
right
I'm
now I
using.
don't see that like true elite player that's going to make that real big step come playoff time. They got Donovan Mitchell, they got Darius Garland, they got some nice pieces, but who's going to be that real like it factor that gets them past the Celtics or the Bucks? I just don't see them being able to get that far yet. Remember last year they got there, but they lost to the Knicks in the opening round. So
Yeah, like for me, it's Donovan Mitchell. Meaning, which Donovan Mitchell are we gonna get? Is he gonna get 30 points? Is he gonna get 5? I mean, the team goes through him. So it's not like the Boston Celtics where you have like a Jaylen Brown going off, or even Porzingis going off. So the Cleveland Cavaliers are very They got a lot of bigs. They got Mobley, Jared Allen, etc. So it's just Donovan Mitchell hitting his shots and scoring
But
the
is
points.
Donovan Mitchell going to truly like bring that MVP like fire out through 4 7-game series?
Yep.
That's the thing that I think might hold them back when it comes
Yep.
playoffs.
All right, and for this one, Coach, I think you're gonna like this one. Transfer portal ruining high school recruitment. Shout out to my guy Mike Green for the question on the last night's play-by-play. So, Coach, does it hurt high school recruitment?
Oh, it is. It's hurting it immensely. Excuse me, on all levels of college athletics, and I mean not just in basketball. It's in football, all of them, because coaches, the transfers, they already have at least a year in college. So they're better prepped. You don't have an 18-year-old kid coming in trying to get acclimated. Where do I have to go to, find classes, getting into a study routine as well as working in practice, because it can be overwhelming. That's why usually coaches try to have them redshirt. But with the transfer portal, they're usually veteran guys. Most of them have been in school at minimum 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they've played in the game at the college level, so it's not overwhelming. So, yeah, it's going to hurt the high school kids. Now, I'm not talking about the elite of the elite. The top level kids, they're going to get everything. They're going to get their playing time. It's not going to hurt them. But those guys who are in the middle of the pack, those some of the low 3-star kids, yeah, it's going to hurt them. 2-star kids, it's going to hurt them, because you can look at, even if it's a 22, 23-year-old guy versus an 18-year-old kid, you're going to say, and he's the kid is, a low 3-star, 2-star, but the transfer, he's considered a 4-star. Who are you going to take? Yeah, you may have to you're going to have to kick some NIL money towards him, but in the meantime, as that coach, he's going to help your program, and that's also going to give you job stability, because, if you get that portal guy in here, or you get enough portal guys coming in and your team wins, you don't have to worry about, am I going to get fired? So is it hurting the high school kids? Yes, it's hurting the middle all the way down, so and that's just a cause and effect of the business right now.
Yeah. Randy, what about you? Is this hurting the high school recruitment?
I don't think anybody else can say anything much more than what Coach said, other than I would say, like, sometimes kids would know that, like, I'm going to get a little bit more over here than versus over there. So they're like, who even cares? Because now it's all about money. So like Coach said, I agree 100% with what he said.
All right, Blaze?
I do agree, but at the same time, I'm saying, similar to the NIL stuff, let's regulate this a little better. I could go really old school and say I don't want it at all, or you should be able to only move once, or you have to sit out a year before you move, like old school did, to deter it a little bit. But I think that could still be a possibility. What I would propose is something like, I don't want, not a direct comparison, but like challenge flags for coaches in the NFL. You get 2 of them.
Yep.
And you can possibly get a third based on maybe the reasoning behind the third. The way I don't mind is, say you sign up to go play for Coach Cal, and Coach Cal leaves after 1 year. Then you ask for a transfer. I don't think that should count against the 3, or that should be that bonus one. That has validity behind it, because you go to a college based on the team, the way they play, the way the coach is, the locality. Number one. The one I don't like is, oh, I lost the starting running back job to player B. Now I want transferred. That's a bitch move to me.
Yeah.
Those you want to be allowed one of those, that's fine. But when it comes to people now coming out of college, being in 4 or 5 colleges, maybe two of those would fall under the validity, the idea, because I do understand wanting to go to a different situation, especially if the coaching staff changes. And now say you're a running, passing quarterback, and they go to a strictly run game, and they change the whole game completely, or any sport. I think you should be allowed to transfer, but there should be more litigation on who can transfer, how they can. Because right now it's just like, fuck it, I'm out. Send me somewhere else next year. But
Yeah.
like when Dion went to Colorado, I have no problem with people wanting to go play for him and transferring for that scenario. Losing a job or finding out that, you know, your girlfriend moved to a different college or something. Tough shit. Life sucks. Tough it out and try to earn your spot. And maybe you have to wait a year. Put that wait a year thing back in if they take the other route. I just think it needs legislated a little better. But I think it needs to be there. But right now it's way out of control.
Nikki.
I mean, there really isn't much else to say, honestly.
You have no words, like Mitch would say, and then talk about it for 15 minutes later. I have no words, but let's talk about it for 20 minutes.
No.
Where'd you get all them words from?
Oh yeah, I got it from the alley hoop.
I threw you an alley hoop.
Blaze,
All right.
Blaze, I just want to say something. I love your shirt, bro.
I was gonna say
I love that shirt.
I knew someone would get the shirt.
You big dummy.
big one, Elizabeth. I'm Elizabeth.
Yeah,
It's a
I
big
just
one.
happened to see that. I was like, all right, I'm feeling that. I'm feeling that.
It's for my dad. I bought this for my dad. Me and him used to watch Sanford and Son all the time, so that makes me think of him. So I saw the shirt and I was like, "You big dummy."
So,
Yeah,
so
because we
for me,
hijacked your show.
I agree with everyone's assessment. Shout out to Earl Cole.
So,
But I'm going to give an example. Hunter Dickinson. He was starting center for my Michigan Wolverines. And then it was just him. He wanted more players around him. And then he went to Kansas. I mean, for that, if you want a better team because your school could not do a better job, it's like, okay, you're trying to bump your draft stock. I get it.
yeah.
They all care about themselves at this point. And I still am mad that he left my Michigan.
Yeah, that would
But
fall under
you
the
know-
valid. I would
you
say
know-
that would be strike one for a valid transfer. But then if he was pissed because he lost his job down in Kansas, well, go fuck yourself. You got to wait a year before you go somewhere else. We're not bouncing people around like a pinball.
One thing I want to say though, because we as fans, yeah, we get caught up into, you know, the players leaving, so on and so forth. We get into the emotional aspect because as fans, that's all we have. We have our emotions invested. But Mitch, you just said they only care about themselves. Well, you have to look at it like this. They are technically independent contractors.
Yep.
You are
Yep.
part of the team. Yes, you are. But in this aspect, you have to think about yourself because you are your business entity. That's how you can develop yourself, create your career, make your money. So if we were independent contracts in any other field, no one would be saying anything. The idea of, oh, they only care about themselves. Well, yes, that's what they're doing. They play the sports because honestly, they're not just playing in a rec league. They're playing because they want to get paid.
Yeah.
So you know what?
You are your best salesman.
Yeah, and when people attack that, they attack it maliciously, not realizing that they're business people. That's really what it is. We can be upset because we're invested, but I'm not mad at them because they made a business decision for their career. You know what? Go do you. I don't like it. Now, as Blaze said, there can be some regulations incorporated into the whole process, you know, and I do understand that, but I'm not mad because look, on the flip side, these coaches, they up and leave for the money. You know, you just had coaches leave schools to jump up to other schools for whatever reason, the money, the opportunity, a bigger program. Well, you know what? What about the kids? Because they're the ones ultimately, the athletes, and I'm a coach, and I'm telling you, I'm not going to be a coach if I don't have the athletes. Plain and simple.
Yeah.
And they should be getting a piece of the pie just like everyone else. The universities make billions of dollars. These conferences make billions of dollars. The coaches make millions of dollars. But then the kids, oh, well, you get a free education. Yeah, okay, I get it. You know, they're not going to have that saddling them down once they graduate, but they're bringing in millions and millions of dollars. We as fans buy their jerseys, and these kids weren't getting it. When Blaze and I were in school, they weren't getting money like that. Where now, okay, yes, they deserve to get a cut of the pie. So, you know, and I'm sorry, the NIL is a big factor now, and that's where these kids are, because these schools, once they'll have somebody contact their agents or their people and let them know, or say, well, how much are you getting at your school? You know, you're getting 600. You're getting 600,000. Well, I'll get you a cool meal if you come over here. Well, I mean, honestly, you're going to look at that. You're going to look at your location. If you're in where I'm at in the tri-state New York area, taxes, that's also going to be another factor. Every little thing, and this is what I mean by these guys are business people, and that's what they're going to look at. They're going to incorporate every aspect of it. You know, if I'm making 600, if I'm getting 600,000 after taxes, maybe I'm getting 400,000 or 350, but they're going to offer me $1 million, and I'm going to walk away with 700,000. Hello, I'm not mad at So I just when people say that look, I get it. I get they only think about themselves, but if you were in their shoes, I damn sure know. I think every last one of us would be doing the same damn thing and say, "I'm sorry, fans. I love and appreciate your support, but I got to do what's for me because when I'm done playing, none of you are going to be here paying my bills and feeding my family."
Well, let's look at
Like,
Good, Randy.
go ahead, please. No, go ahead.
There's one other scenario, I think, and Coach brought it up to kind of make me think of it. These are kids we're talking about. We're talking about, teenagers still, someone that are, mid-teenager, late teenager. There's a lot of controlling parents out there. If this parent says, you're not going to Penn State anymore, you're going over here. And the kid's got to have new friends, new classes, new teachers. Does that kid even want to go? Coach brought up agents, and you start your own business. That used to start whenever you made it to the pros. Now, and I know this from a friend of mine who his son he plays wide receiver for West Virginia now. The process of him going from high school into West Virginia, he already has a company, a group of people around him. One that does his marketing and stuff. One that manages his finances.
They can get to you a lot easier.
They have his trainer. So you have all these people in your head. You should go to Texas, not North Carolina. Or year one, you got all these people in your head. And this is a 17-year-old, a 16-year-old, 19-year-old. All these people in his head saying, no, you should go to USC, go over there, go over here, or they're going to get you more money. So I can just imagine what some of these kids, I mean, we're talking about them being these egotistical, bigger than, the world type of kings and queens, which a lot of them are. But then like Coach was talking about the middle of the pack ones that are a little bit away from making it to possibly go into the pros. Maybe they need a different scenario, but do they want to? Are they forced into it? That's why, just like back to what I said, it needs regulated because it's off the chain right now that they can just do whatever they want pretty much.
Yeah.
Yep. So, yeah, I agree with your assessment. But all right. So Rios,
He's not
Victor
here.
Wembanyama, your favorite player. Rookie. Is it possible for him to get Rookie of the Year and Defensive Player of the Year? Because I think they're going to give it to Rudy Gobert.
Yes. Simple answer for me. Yes. Is it? You said, could it happen? Yes. Will it?
No.
I'd say probably at this point, but I wouldn't be surprised if someone like Gobert or something got it. But he's every time I see him, it's something else phenomenal that I never saw someone do before.
Shout out to AJ Styles.
And when I see him standing next to like AD, looking down to AD and people like that, and seeing him turn a finger roll into a dunk. Things that I've never seen before. The left-handed the left-handed dunk after a spin move on the baseline. I mean, his spin was, dare I say, dream-esque. And then he's dunking the ball from outside the block.
Yeah.
And he's just getting started, people.
Is this one of the best rookie years we have ever seen?
Impactful, where you have all these wow moments. I'd say back to when the hype of LeBron. Like the hype of LeBron, you wanted to see what crazy shit he was going to do in the next game,
Would you say Luka?
Luka was doing crazy shit right off the bat too, but you had that history of he's been playing in, overseas for so long. So he was like this more of a seasoned type player.
Yeah.
Like a kid, even though we haven't seen him. But it wasn't like right now, there's probably a hell of a top 10 highlight reel for Webby right now.
Yeah.
We could show that. I don't know if anybody's top 10 would equate to it or be close to it this year. There'd be a couple kind of close, but his top 10 plays matched against anybody else's. I saw a weird stat earlier today. Someone said, I forgot. I wish I could quote them. They said they don't remember. And I want you guys to think about this. Has LeBron ever posterized someone on a dunk? I don't think
Yes.
so.
Yes, yes.
Jason
Yes,
Terry.
I couldn't remember one. It's like it's been a long. I know he's older now.
I'm
Jason
pretty sure he
Terry.
did a couple times on the Heat. I'm pretty sure he did a couple
Most of
times.
his dunks, people were just getting the fuck out of the way.
Look up Jason Terry.
All right, I just couldn't remember. When I saw someone tweet that or something. I was like, let me think.
Yeah.
I can't really remember.
But
one.
if
Sorry,
you
yeah.
have to look at the best rookie year possible, I'm going Magic Johnson. He won a championship. He
Oh, yeah,
beat our
yeah.
Sixers, and he was a center.
Yeah.
He was a freaking center.
Oh, he played center somewhat. He played all 5 positions that year. Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I mean, then you can look at Shaquille O'Neal. You can look at Michael Jordan. You can look at Jordan. You can look at Olajuwon. You can look at
But just stop and listen to the names you just named.
Yeah.
Top
Yeah.
20 of all time, and we're
Yeah.
already, because of his highlights, I mean, I'm rooting for him. You know, I really am. I have no money in him. I don't care about the Spurs, but I like seeing talents do things we've never seen before. I like to be
Yeah.
amazed, and he's amazing me right now.
And what did you say before, Blaze? When players see that, they want to go there and play there. So
Yeah.
when they get some free agents and they got some money, look out. Like,
And the
gonna
draft
be a
picks that they
destination.
got coming up and stuff. And I mean, it
Yep.
could be one of those 2-year turnarounds where,
Yeah.
you know, in 2 years, based on what free agents and what draft picks they get, they could be fighting for, you know, a title, or at least a Western
Yeah.
Conference title.
he could run amok in the playoffs. Like, you would just hate to want to run against him. Like,
And think about it. NBA players ramp up their game in about 2 weeks. You're going to start seeing that level competition rise up as we go into the playoffs. We
Yeah.
haven't seen playoff Wemby yet.
yeah.
We might not for a
Playoff
year or
Wemby.
two, but can you imagine
But-
if he has another level to his game he's holding back on because they've trained him to, you know, like go for the long haul, which is a long season? Jake
Yeah.
loves Larry Bird, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we've
Butterfly's
only
actually a
scratched-
Spurs fan.
Yeah, we've only scratched the surface with Wemby. And to me, I mean, I love Rios. He's a great guy. But whether you're a Spurs fan or not, I don't know how you can't be entertained by this guy. I really don't.
I've been entertained by this guy for the last 4 years. So just like Nikki, describe Wemby's rookie year.
I mean, they got good guys on
And a
this.
phenomenal rookie year with no supporting cast to help him.
Yeah, they're going to get the top 3 pick. They're getting the top 3 pick. So they're rebuilding in the right direction.
And like you said, Mitch, with the way he's playing, a generational talent is, we use that term too loosely sometimes, but in this case, you see a veteran who wants to make a run, and maybe he gets that number 2 next to him. As a vet, I want to be a part of that.
You know who
Oh,
I
that's
want
what
them
I'm
to get?
saying.
You know who I want them to trade for?
Paul George, so he doesn't come to the Sixers.
Trey Young.
Trey Young, yeah, I know.
Randy got it, Trey Young.
Yeah, you give a shooting point guard up top when you got someone who can manage underneath, and Wemby can shoot and do everything, pass. It's crazy.
They have guys on their squad. They could facilitate that. Devin Vassell, Jeremy Sochan,
Sochan's the one he could bust out. Definitely.
And
He already
again-
played
Keldon Johnson. They could definitely
Yep.
pull that trade off.
Kentucky.
And again,
Yeah.
Greg Popovich.
Yeah, that's another
What-
thing.
One of the best coaches of all time.
Yep.
And just like, people say this is rigged because he had David Robinson, Tim Duncan, and now he's got Wemby.
You know how long of a difference, how many years between those that is?
Yeah,
Try to
like,
make an assumption. An assumption like that is just one of the most asinine things I've ever heard.
I know.
that would be like the second that Duncan retired and everybody was officially
Duncan
gone. They were like,
actually
okay,
is
now
the
we wait for
coach,
Wemby.
right? Isn't Duncan an assistant coach?
Look how long it's been since Duncan for them to say they fixed it so they got the
No,
next
no, I'm just
big
saying.
guy. I don't know.
I'm just saying. I think. And here's another thing, too. When Wemby got drafted, he had lunch with Tony Parker. So just like you're in a great organization,
Instantly clicked.
great coach. It's just like he's in the right direction. I just hope they can build around him. That is
They
what I
will.
hope.
Oh, they will. They will.
Yeah.
Does Pop still have it as a coach, though? That's what we'll find out once they start to get some of the right pieces.
Yep.
So, coach, could
Mhm.
Wemby win Defensive Player of the Year and Rookie of the Year?
No,
Okay.
no, I don't think he. Is it possible? Of course. Do I think he's going to? No. I just can't see it right now. I think he has to earned more defensive credibility in the league to really say that. I mean, because some people are automatically going to look down upon him because he's 7'3", 7'4", has that long wingspan. Oh, it's too easy. He's
You got to
really
be able
not
to use
working
it.
for
Yeah,
it.
you got to be able to
You
use
know,
it. Doesn't matter.
what's his defensive rebounding percentage?
That's
I
like
mean,
saying a big guy should be a great lineman. No,
Mhm.
just because you're big don't mean you're going to be a great lineman. Just because you're
exactly.
tall doesn't make you good at basketball. I know a guy who's 7'2". My friend Garth. He was a great dude, but he could dunk a ball with ease. But he had no dribbling skills. He had no jumper. You know, but he was taller than him, a foot taller than everybody. So of course we wanted him on our pickup team.
I mean,
He
look
even
at
liked
Mo Bamba.
basketball. People made him play because he was 7 foot tall.
I mean, look at Mo Bamba.
But he's in the pro.
Wemby right now averages 10 rebounds, 3.5 assists, 1.5 steal.
And he's a block high, one block.
What's
higher
his
than anybody else.
defensive rebound? Because we're talking about defensive rookie of the year. So what's the defensive rebounding? You know, is he getting 8 and 2? Is he getting 6 and 4?
So he's 3.4 blocks, and 2.5 is the closest to him. So anyone even close in blocks. He is at rebounds 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. He's 12th in defensive rebounds.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, then that could
At 10
change it.
10.4.
I mean, it could change it, but I still think that they're going to look at him like you still have to earn it a little bit more, be consistent with it. When you talk about Gobert, Gobert's done it for years.
Yeah.
He may not have the offensive game, but he at least defense he's going to give you. He changes so much. I mean, also on the switching, how effective is Wemby on the switching? With switching out off of his primary man. And he doesn't look very strong down low. So if he's going up against a big bull, is he just because you can block the shots? If an offensive guy can push you down underneath the rim, your blocking skills ain't gonna do shit. Because imagine him trying to block Shaq. Shaq would just pull him down, push him right down under, and just go up and dare him to try and block his shot. He's gonna break his hand. So
he averages 2.2 offensive rebounds, but 8.1 defensive rebounds.
Okay.
So, and here's another thing too. Not a lot of people are talking about this, but Blaze, Nikki, our MVP, scored 70 on Wemby. I'm just saying, I don't think they will give him defensive player of the year after that.
Wait a minute. What part of the year was that?
It was like middle of the year.
That was like the beginning of the year. That was very close.
It was like in the middle.
I thought it was right. It was before the in-season tournament, wasn't it?
Doesn't matter when it happened. It doesn't matter when it doesn't matter when it's happened. That's just something they're going to put on and check off and say, well, he gave up 70 points. Whether it's at the beginning, the middle, or even just now, he gave up 70 points. That's
I could see him giving it to Gobert, and I could see them using a reason like that and in his inexperience. But also, if you put the 10
rookie of the year,
once again, the eye test, you give me 10 of Gobert's top defensive plays and 10 of Wemby's, there's no contest. It would be not even close.
Right now, the leader is Domantas Sabonis.
Yeah, in rebound. I'm just saying eye test. That's all I'm saying is the look of the best 10 defensive maneuvers. Nobody can touch with Wemby. But I agree. I think it's going to probably go to like a Gobert or somebody or Sabonis or somebody like that. But I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised if Wemby does it. If he goes crazy with blocks.
I also think because he is playing in Sacramento, he's in a small market. Most people across the country don't see him because who's the ones that vote? Isn't it the reporters that vote for the defense, or who does?
The media.
No clue.
The media. So
yeah.
Being in a small market, some of the small market or some of the media personalities, of him, but you may not have seen him. Because imagine most guys in the East Coast, New York City for that matter. You only see him twice a year unless you get him on a primetime game. I haven't seen him that much this year.
Me either.
So that
and
also
games
factors
played
in.
matters too, right? Games played matters too.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. So
I mean, give or take, because how people say. I mean, right now there's 60 63 games for Victor, 72 for Sabonis, 65 for Gobert. So they're all around.
Yeah,
They've all
yeah.
played their share.
Yeah, they're all there. But actually, Bagwell has a good question for each one of us. Who's the most underrated player? I know who I'm going with. Randy knows who I'm going with.
I'm the most underrated player. I'm the best in the world. I'm the defensive player of the year. I'm the offensive player of the year. I'm your mother's favorite player, bitch.
You
He's
want to
back.
throw an alley hoop?
He's good at throwing alley hoops, too.
LeBron James.
LeBron.
I'm going with Bobby Portis.
Because you want him on the Sixers.
I tweeted that, but I'm just saying that. I've been saying that
You
for
just got
years.
Bobby Portis on your mind. What's up, Taco? And Dick. I see you out there, Dick.
What is up, Daco? So, Nikki, who's your most underrated player this year?
Right now, Chet Holmgren, because he's another one you could consider rookie of the year because he's really helped that Thunder make that push from playing to being in the playoffs, a top seed. I feel like he gets a little overlooked because he's got SGA, you got all these other star players like Luka, Sabonis, even Tyrese Halliburton and all those guys.
I like that. Blaze, what about you?
I'm going to kind of play Homer to some extent, and to a lot of people in the know, not Homer for Sixers, though. For some people in the know will say that he's already here. He's established as a superstar. But I think for the general population and the casual viewers, they're going to get to know De'Aaron Fox a lot better.
Yeah.
Mhm. That's
Yeah.
what I was thinking.
De'Aaron Fox
That's-
needs. I mean, I understand, and once again, back to what Coach and Randy and people were saying about smaller market and stuff, could be part of the reason. Of course, Sacramento doesn't give as much shine as LA and places out there,
Mhm.
but I think he is like a top 20 player, easily and consistently. He just doesn't get the shine globally yet.
Mhm.
He hasn't had that stage yet. Like if they make a nice run in the playoffs and he truly gets to show his form, I mean, not even going to the Western Finals, maybe winning 2 rounds, and he was the reason, then people can finally take some notice. But De'Aaron Fox, Kentucky or not, he's just phenomenal.
Randy.
Hmm.
who's your
Mine's
most-
going to be kind of off board. I don't think anybody's really thinking of this guy, but I've been watching a lot of Hawks games lately, and I've been watching this kid, and I actually was hoping he was going to be part of a trade if the Raptors were going to make it with the Hawks. It's Jalen Johnson.
Yep.
This kid's averaging 16 points a game, 8.5 to 8.6 rebounds. The guy is in one of the. I'm going to say he's going to be in the next 2 to 3 years probably one of the best in-game dunkers you'll see. He is not afraid of attacking the rim. It doesn't matter who's standing there. He will poster you. I actually think this kid might even be in the slam dunk competition one day. But I like this kid a lot, Jalen Johnson.
All right. Coach. Most underrated
Well,
player.
Since Blaze took who I was thinking of first, I'm gonna go back to my little safety net in Paolo Banchero. I mean, he's another small market. We do know about him, but he's not talked about as much across the league. But you look what he does for Orlando. Pretty much, he's the whole team. Well, I'm not going to say the whole team, but he's a major factor for that whole team, for that team. So, right now I'm going to say him, and he gives my Knicks a whole lot of business. So,
Look,
I
halftime's here. Hey, halftime.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. But I thought you were going to say Josh Hart. I honestly thought you were going to say Josh Hart.
what? I'm staying away from Knicks because I mean,
That's fair.
but
That's
if you want to be honest, then yes, Josh Hart, hands down.
Thank you, Taco.
Mr. Triple Double right now. He's 2 away from tying Walt Clyde Frazier for the all-time Knicks record in triple doubles. So, and for this kid to be 6'4" and can play the 4 spot, can play the 3 spot, can play the 2 spot, and the way he rebounds, I mean, and he does all the little dirty work, everything, screens, you name it, getting in there, diving on the floor. Yeah.
Headband Hart.
Get in there. Get in there. Get on in
Exactly.
there.
Pause.
You got to have heart.
Ah, got him.
I got
But,
I got one more thing to say about that.
Go for it. Okay, how are you keep on putting it in every time? Orange Cassidy is awesome.
All right, Mitch, enough with it. We know you love Orange Cassidy. Quit telling us that. Jeez. It's a basketball show. Come on. Focus.
Gee, I wonder you. But yes or no, that Draymond Green foul should have been a
Oh,
flagrant.
he's a punk. Yeah, it's a
Yes.
flagrant. You don't pull someone down like
I'm
that.
gonna say this
He
because
could
I
have
only
pulled
saw
back
it
a
in
little.
I only saw it in slow motion. I needed to see the full motion to get the full context.
He
Because
could have let go of
I
him a
know
lot
that,
earlier.
you know what? I thought the first thing I said is that guy flopped it. That's the first thing I said. I said he knew it was Draymond, he's flopping, and everyone's gonna
Yeah, that could be
blame
part of it too,
Draymond,
because that's the same thing.
and because it's Draymond Green, everybody is
That's
he's
why
the
I'm
guilty one.
That's why I'm on board right off saying it probably is Draymond's fault because it's Draymond Green.
Exactly. And
But I
that's
get
the
where
thing.
you're coming
Put
from.
his
If
arm
you're
around
the other
like
guy,
this.
if you're the other
It
guy, you
started,
embellish.
it started up, and if you look, the guy went backward with his arm coming all in the same motion.
As much as I hate flopping, if I'm playing against Draymond Green and he does that to me, I'm throwing my arms up and I'm hitting the floor like Joel Embiid.
That's why when you say, and the only reason why I say that because it's in slow motion. When you
Yeah.
slow things down, it really changes the whole dynamics of things. Yeah, you see a lot more, and you're taking it frame by frame by frame, so you're looking at it. But if you watch it in full motion and you look at it, does it look the same as when you slow it down?
I'm still
That's
saying
all
he
I'm
could have
saying.
let go a lot sooner, and that
Hey,
dude wouldn't have
yeah,
had. It would have looked more egregious if Draymond would have let go instead of pushing down on his chest, and he did that maneuver, which he did embellish a little bit.
Mhm.
He would have looked like an idiot flopping. It would have been so obvious. But because Draymond kept his arm on him longer, then he gave the guy the ability to sell it more and embellish,
Mhm.
and then make us torn on was he selling more than it was a big time injury and it was egregious on Draymond. But I get where people are at. Guilty by, from the past. Draymond plays dirty. So why not just say it's his fault as soon as it
Guilty
happens?
by association.
But if I'm player B, as much as I can't stand flopping, and I'm
Mhm.
against Draymond and he tries that shit, I'm flopping.
I'm sorry.
Don't get me
I heard all that, and all I heard Coach was say slow motion. Slow it down.
Slow motion, baby.
And that's all that kept going over in my fucking head while you guys were
Slow
talking.
motion for me. Slow motion for
Yeah,
me.
he knows what song I was going into.
So for the West,
Taco, don't get me started on that question. Please don't get me started on that question. Keep it. Y'all keep going.
okay.
Keep going.
Tackle.
Yeah.
For the Western Conference play-in, it is so competitive. I don't know who to go with right now. You got Sacramento at 7, you got Phoenix at 8, you got Lakers at 9, and Warriors at 10.
I like it right where it is because Lakers versus Warriors and Kings Suns are two really good matchups in my opinion.
I agree.
I want to because the drama for those two games would be phenomenal, and I think ratings would be through the roof. I know the whole scenario that the Lakers got to make the playoffs bullshit, so the refs and everyone are helping them to make the playoffs. But I think if it stays right the way it was, that would be very interesting. Those two matchups.
I would see the Lakers beating the Warriors, Kings and Suns.
I'm going Kings on that one.
I think everybody's forgetting too. One of the hottest teams right now in the NBA that's won 9 in a row is the Rockets, and they might have a say before it's all said and done here because they're right on the heat.
And SGA's out tonight for the Thunder.
Yep.
What about the Suns? I mean, it's they're to me. Can they find themselves out of it?
I mean, even the Warriors could find themselves out of it too. With the Rockets keep
true,
turning it on too. So they got to watch it. I mean, we're at that point where there's only a couple weeks left.
Mhm.
They got to start worrying about that. I mean, we talked about panic mode last week. I mean, it's super panic mode now for some of these teams. But
I mean, the Lakers last night, they won without LeBron.
Here's the thing with the Lakers, the Warriors, and the Suns, though. If they do make it, those, to me, with the star power they have, and if they stay healthy, can do what the Heat did last year. They can make a run to even if they're in the play-in, Lakers, Warriors, Suns, they can go all the way to the Western Finals because they have that talent if they stay healthy.
NYG, are you okay? Are you okay there, bro?
Yo,
and I'm gonna throw this in there too. You're Ben Simmons.
My bro. Oh my! We were talking about it last night, and even still, look, he don't want Marks there. He wants the whole thing going. They have no picks this year. Think about
Yeah,
that.
they have none.
They have no picks, and Houston controls a lot of what they do going forward. And
Where's Rios when you need him?
it's man. Then they sold their soul to the Devils. We said it. I said it last night, man. And
they went to them puffy parties, didn't they?
Yeah.
They went to Puff Daddy's parties, didn't they?
So, Blaze, you said
Oh, you
had
don't
a
know
lot-
that news yet? Oh boy.
So, Blaze, you had
Yeah, I
a
know
lot
about
to
it.
say about Ice Cube offering Caitlin Clark $5 million for the Big Three.
Actually, I have nothing to say about it because I've never seen Caitlin Clark play basketball because I don't watch women's
Really?
basketball. But
I mean,
here's
you
my.
just said you had stuff to say.
But when I heard it this morning, the business aspect of it is huge. I'm just being real. The business aspect is huge. That $5 million, because Ice Cube was on Pat McAfee today, so they were talking about it a little bit. And would she be able to play both? She can help the WNBA more with her name recognition and how popular she is right now, is what they were saying.
Yeah.
She could definitely take WNBA to a next level. Will it make a big difference with the Big Three? I don't know, but $5 million is more than the WNBA is going to pay her. That's for sure.
That's exactly what Coach said.
But the other thing you got to think about, which they talked about too, is, and Ice Cube, he did his homework. He's already looked at the schedule. There's only one game where there's a conflict with who's the number one pick in the WNBA draft.
Indiana right now. I think it's Indiana.
Indiana. So they already compared the Big Threes because they only play on Saturdays. There's one game where she would have to make a decision. But where my problem is, a lot of people would think it was just a publicity stunt. Number one. Number two, why not get the money, get the bag if you can get it? Number three, what happens if she gets hurt in a Big Three game? Because there's Tractor Trailer, Big Baby. There's some big dudes playing in the Big Three. And that competitive nature doesn't care if you're a woman or a man. Their competitive nature is out to make that basket. So if little Caitlin Clark finds herself in the paint against some Big Three players that don't give two shits about who Caitlin Clark is, she might not end up being able to play in the WNBA. So my take on it, she needs to make a decision. Does she want to be a publicity stunt and risk and make the extra $5, or tough it out? Play with the WNBA, make a name for yourself, earn it in the long run. She'll get it with promotion.
Here's the thing, though, because I said it earlier. Yeah, is it a publicity stunt? Are they just doing that because she will draw? She would draw either way. She's going to draw. But like you said, Blaze, $5 million, because the top salary in the WNBA is like $270,000.
Even if we give her half of that,
to $5 million. Yeah. So it's like, do you sit down and say, even if she says, I'll go play there for 3 years, that's $15 million. Most women in the WNBA have to go overseas to make any type of money. And usually it's $1 million, maybe $2 million overseas. And now with the new rules with the WNBA, you have to be back before, the certain point in training camp to be eligible for the whole season. So now women have to decide, do they want to stay overseas and, the contract. So it's a little bit trickier. But if she's playing with the Big Three, and now can she go out there and play with the men? That's going to be the other question on a consistent basis because, she could shoot her ass off, but on the defensive end, I don't care if a guy is 6'2", if he's stronger than her, I'm going to take her down low, and I'm going to back her down and just go up over the top of her.
That's what they said about her too. What if she goes out the first 3 games of the Big Three, scores 2 points, 0 points, 0 points, 0 points?
It'll hurt her appeal.
It'll hurt her appeal. And then what if she, like Coach says, does make a decision, says, I'm going to go play Big Three for 2 years, get $10 million. And the first year she gets hurt, or the first year she can't score a bucket at all. Even if the other side of the coin where she scores 20 a game, does that do anything more for her? Does stuff for the Big Three because people are going to go watch.
Yeah,
if she can
she
score
can
in the
play
Big
with
Three,
the men is what they'll say.
Yes, no, that would help her more than anything if she's able to score and play with the guys.
It's risk reward though.
But yes,
the risk worth the reward.
But I think you guys
injuries, but
in terms of the WNBA though, if she goes over there, she's going to make her money. Maybe not $5 million a pop, but with endorsements, she's going to make money. So,
local commercials,
she'll be the face of the WNBA year one.
Year one.
One of the faces. They're going to
She's
put her
one of
on
the faces.
everything that rookie year. They're going to put her face on everything.
She's not going to take Aja
Yep.
Wilson right now. She's not going to take Aja Wilson or even Sabrina.
But, if I'm boxing the next box of cards for next year, Caitlin Clark's going on the fucking cover for that year.
Oh,
It's her
no,
rookie
I understand.
that
Yes.
first year, it's going to be all about her rookie year. There's
Yes.
still 4 or 5, 6
Marketing.
other big superstars, but her name is right up with the top people
Yes.
right off the bat.
Yes. So
Because of her drawing.
and that's the thing. The publicity stunt things I think that will work is, her going up against Steph in the 3-point shooting context.
Yes.
Those things
But
like
think
that.
about it. Who won the Big Three last year? Does anybody even know?
No.
What are the
No.
names
Did they
of the
play
teams?
last year?
What are the names of the teams in the Big Three? Does anyone
Did
even
they-
know?
I don't think they.
Spurs, That's it. That's all I know.
I don't think
The
they played
last time I
last year.
watched was when Allen Iverson played.
I wouldn't say this, but a lot of people would say she's just being greedy if she goes to the Big Three. Which,
But-
like, I agree, get the money. But I'm just saying what people in general would
No,
say,
I
not
mean you're
me.
right, Blaze. You're
I
right.
would
And
not
Yeah.
say that, but
And that's the thing that irks me. Just like I was talking about the players, the independent contractors. She's an independent contractor. She's starting her career. Hello, if you could start out your career getting $5 million even one time,
yeah.
I mean, and then go to the WNBA after that. Okay,
But the Big
Okay.
Three, I'm not going to put it on a competitive level with G League or NBA or WNBA. It's more of a showcase of
Mhm.
players that you used to see. They're playing the best they can at older ages, or guys that only made it in a couple years in the league, or have an injury that prevents them from running up and down a court the whole time. Their competitive nature's still there, but I'm not saying it's all the way like a Globetrotter show, but it's more of a performance show to see these famous people and have these guys, because they're not getting paid. She'll be the highest paid player in the Big Three.
They got 9 teams. I guess they have 9 teams.
Yeah. So, I mean,
They
it would
have
definitely
9?
give more people would know. Like, if I asked you this question next year after Caitlin Clark played in the Big Three, we'd probably
Right.
know what the teams were.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
type of appeal I'm talking about she would bring.
true.
People would
Killer.
know more about the Big Three just because arguably one of the greatest college basketball players of all time is now playing there, man or woman.
It's kind of funny because there's one of the teams would suit her perfectly. It's Killer Threes, Ball Hogs, Three-Headed Monsters,
Yeah.
Ghost Ballers, Power, Trilogy,
Killer
Triplets,
threes.
But if she ends up getting there,
and Tri-State.
she ends up getting her shot blocked
Charles
back
Oakley
into her
team.
face 8 times in game 1. Just like Nikki
Yeah.
said, it kind of takes away a little bit from her appeal. Because right now she's on the top of the world in college.
And don't forget, it's 3-on-3. It's not 5. So
True.
the screens are a little bit differently. So
And
you
half
don't have
court. And
yeah,
half
Don't
half
forget
court.
the 4-point shot.
And she will not be anywhere. She's within the size of a decent amount of women in college basketball.
Mhm.
She won't be anywhere near anybody. I mean, there'll be the Nate Robinsons and a couple of real short guys that play, but no, everyone's going to be 3 times her size, basically.
Nate
going.
Robinson should box Jake Paul again.
Even if somebody like Quentin Richardson went up against her, he would still be able to take her down.
Mhm.
So,
Good rebound.
So I think she'll end up just going to the WNBA. I think it's just
same.
I don't think she's gonna entertain it. If I was her, I'd work it up. I would I would go all the way up till the day of the draft of WNBA, and I would sit in front of one of them little tables with a WNBA hat. I mean, with a Big Three hat and with a WNBA hat, and then I'd make my decision right the day of the draft.
And then she'll put the Big Three and go, oh, sorry.
Yep, yeah, do one of them
Yeah.
jumps. Yep, do that too.
Yeah.
And she ends up throwing a WWE hat on. Oh shit! What is this one?
But I think like MYG saying too, I mean, she's setting a standard. If she says, okay, I'm going to go and be what the WNBA needs right now and be that star power, so other people like Asia and all these other women can get more shine because her star power can maximize her potential. Is that 1 year for $5 million, or is it 10 years eventually making everyone's salary in the WNBA more?
Mhm.
Because if she elevates the whole league,
Mhm.
it's not really going to change the Big Three if she elevates the Big Three. It'll make her more omniscient because she's playing with the boys. She goes to WNBA and takes the WNBA to the next level.
Mhm.
That is big because then all the girls are getting paid more people in the seats, more advertising, and the whole organization of the WNBA is lifted up. And she could start that.
I know people are going to want to see Kelsey Plum versus Caitlin Clark when she does hit the WNBA court. That's for sure.
When is the WNBA draft again?
It's literally a week, literally 5 days after the women's Final Four. No, after the women's Final Four, because their season, their first game is like the May 14th. The season starts May 14th for the WNBA. So they literally once the Final Four is done, they go into the draft, and then after that you got training camp, and then it's a short time frame for them, because they start in May.
They ramp it up.
Yeah. You guys should definitely stream that. That'll be awesome.
Harden can go to the big three. He can go.
I'm home if I get the show.
Harden can go anywhere he wants. Oh, speaking of Harden, did you see what happened after they lost?
No.
He left before Tyronn Lue did his press conference, and he left media availability. He left even before that started.
You probably get fined for that, right?
I'm here so I don't get fined.
Don't play
You
it.
should have went up with the shit, man.
Don't play.
Hey, stop it.
I mean, listen, we talking about practice. Hey, I'm just here so I don't get fined, so y'all can sit here.
All right.
Blah blah blah.
All right, guys. So that concludes episode 64. How many more episodes, please?
4.
5 more.
5 more.
Five
5 more.
Well, if this
Shout out
concluded,
to-
it's 4. Oh no, yeah, you're right. I get it.
What is up? Quick question from Raph here. While we are in March Madness, name a college basketball team that could make a huge impact in NBA. You mean a basketball player?
Yeah, player or team?
No team could.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't care if you get the Fab Five or the Running Rebels from the '80s. No team
No.
can compete in the NBA. Not even with.
Well,
the
I mean, they might be better than Detroit. At least they might be a little bit better than Detroit.
Player, I think it's too early to tell.
Yeah.
I think it's too early to tell. I'm not getting into that. So if I had to pick,
I heard this is not a good draft coming out anyway.
it's
So
not. It's like mostly just role players.
everyone's
There's no
waiting.
like number one guy. There's no like
Everyone's
Cooper
waiting for
Flag
Cooper,
or
yeah,
guys from Rutgers.
Yeah,
or-
this has like 2000, 2006 vibes.
yeah.
Yeah.
If I had to
Maybe
pick,
I'll shoot a brick. Brick.
if I had to
Well,
pick,
The only brick I can think of flushes down the toilet bowl.
Oh,
oh, I got
brick.
all right. On that note, guys,
That
make
was a
sure you hit
walk.
the like, subscribe. Shout out to Nikki for coming back, man. We
Yes,
missed
Yeah,
you.
welcome back, brother.
Can't wait to see your content again. I'm really excited to see that.
He went to a Wembenyama convention.
You went to a Wemby meet and greet.
Yep.
Yeah. On that note, guys, we'll catch y'all later. Have a good one and peace.